Muziris Heritage Project started as a very small project, and in one sentence it can be said, it will when the project is finished, it will portray 3000 years of Kerala's history. So we will be in the peculiarity of this place is that there are different layers of history seen in a small area. You can see the Roman layer, you can see the Jewish layer where the Jews came here 2000 years ago, the Arabs came here, the Chinese came here, even the Portuguese came here, Dutch. So you can see all these layers, each person has left one trace or the other in this place. So you have the oldest mosque in India is here, the oldest Catholic church is here, the oldest European monument is here, the first synagogue in India is here. So that way, I mean, this place has a lot of importance historically. So what we are trying to say is wherever this 3000 years of Kerala's history through the monuments and sites, and where there are missing links, we are setting up museums. One important aspect of the project is the conservation aspect. That is the most primary aspect of the project. I mean, the project is leading to the conservation of many historic buildings. If you take one of the second important aspect is the educational value for the project. So many school children can come and learn about history by looking at all these monuments and sites. So it's that way it is a very educational project. And also the project is looking at an alternate model for tourism, sustainable model for tourism, in which the Kerala's cultural history is portrayed. One thing we have tried to do in this project is to bring in the intangible elements also into this project. For example, the cultural festivals which are happening, the craftsmen in different areas, and the market activities which are happening. So where there are missing links in the history aspect, or that is where the role of the museums come in. And these are not museums in the conventional sense. These are more like community museums. These are museums which will portray the lifestyle and the culture of this area, rather than portraying some major works of art. These museums are relevant in a local context, and it exhibits the pride of the local community. As part of phase 1, 4 museums are coming up, in which Palyam Palace and Palyam Nalugata. This Palyam Palace will try to portray the history of the Cochin Maharaja and the Portuguese and the Dutch. And the Palyam Nalugata will try, it's more like a lifestyle museum which will portray the life of the landlord family in the early 20th century kind of period. And then the two museums which are coming up are the two synagogues, Chendamangalam Synagogue and the Paravur Synagogue. Paravur Synagogue will portray the life of the Jews in Kerala, and right from the early times, how their relationship was with the rest of the community in Kerala, and how it evolved, the kind of synagogues and which were here, etc. And the Chendamangalam Synagogue will try to portray the life cycle of a Jew. These are the 4 museums which are coming up. As a subsequent thing, we are establishing the museums which are out of the excavated remains from the Krangano Fort or the Kottappuram Fort. There will be a museum. There will be a museum on Abdul Rahman Sahib, who is a freedom fighter. There is an Islamic museum which is coming up in the compound of the first mosque. There is a temple museum coming up in Kodunallur. So like that we are trying to portray. There is a handloom museum coming up. There is a kayar museum which will portray how the kayar was produced in the olden times, or how was a kayar worker's life, and all those things, etc. So all these things will eventually might take more time to come up, but these are part of the